Was that expected? Did you think if he were to win that you were going to be getting in there?
50-50, you know what I mean? Because he's been talking about me all week, saying he wins, and then we were talking about it the other day. We were saying if he gets him out of it in the first two, and it's very possible. Like, I thought if Charles could get him to the later rounds, might have been a bit different, but I really like Charles, but what the fuck was that game plan, lad? You know what I mean? Stand in front of him and get punched in the face. First 20 seconds he did a little bit, teeped him, leg kicked, and I was thinking, oh, we could be in for a tough night for Topuria, and then Charles got it once and just started swinging with him. But when he was walking out, I did turn to Graham and say, he looks nervous.
Yeah.
And when Ilia walked out, he was just smiling. It's like, that's going to play a part in this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what. As I say, I'd love to know what their game plan was, because that was just, like, it was half embarrassing. Like, where did the cut come from as well? That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
When, like, Topuria ended up on top of him, I was like, oh, Oliveira's cut.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would have been in his eye a little bit and easier to get it, but still, what are you doing just standing in the middle and swinging punches with him when he's a top-class boxer and he's got power? It's just, it blew my mind at how stupid he could be after, it was his 47th pro fight, and he was going in there like an amateur.
I think the cut came from, again, when he landed that right hand, I think Topuria came back, and I think the glove, because you know how y'all's gloves sometimes can, like, I think that's what happened.
Well, Charles has got a lot of scar tissue as well. He's had loads of cuts over these. That's the thing, he's got loads of damage.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a fight like that. I want to have a war with someone, you know what I mean? But I've never had one. I've never took a sustained amount of damage in my life. He wouldn't knock me out. He could hit me with his best punch and I'd laugh in his face.
When you got in the cage, you guys have been around each other before, but when you got in the cage, was there, were you, I guess, shocked by how much bigger you were than him, or no? Because on camera it looked like, I was like, oh, he's actually that much bigger than him. Like, he's.
I've said this before in several interviews. People just think he'd steamroll me, you know what I mean? But it's different when there's that much size difference. People think that, you know, I'm not good enough to go against him and stuff like that, but lad, he's a midget. So I said to them, I will finish you, little boy. You know what I mean? Because he's like that much shorter than me. I'm so much wider than him.
Yeah.
Like, and that plays a part. That's why people cut weights. That's why you get to a certain weight division. Because, like, I love Kevin Holland and I want him to keep fighting at welterweight. But when he fights at middleweight, he gets ragdolled. You know what I mean? He said it himself after the Kamzat fight, I need to stop fighting at middleweight.
Yeah.
That 10, 15 pounds makes a big difference. And as I said, I'd just kick up Topuria around the cage. I can't wait to shock a lot of people.
Yeah. When do you in your ideal time frame, end of this year, like when was that? When would that fight happen?
I wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, but he won't do a quick turnaround like that, which I understand. You know what I mean? You've just done a fight camp, you've just fought and won the belt. You want to be happy for a little bit and not get back on the diet. But as I say, I'm game to fight him then. I'm game to fight him before the end of the year. I'm game to fight him next year. But we'll see what happens. We don't know what the UFC is going to do, because it's not my decision ultimately. It's not his decision. It's Dana Hunter and Sean's decision. But I think it's the only fight to make. You know what I mean? We haven't seen two people genuinely dislike each other since Conor Khabib. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's always dead cordial and all right, where I hate him. I absolutely hate him. Like, I want to inflict pain on his life. You know what I mean? I'd like that fight to go 4 minutes, 50 seconds into the 5th round, and I've landed 907 elbows and I've disfigured his face. You know what I mean? I don't want a quick knockout. I want to put him through pain.
Did you see Dana saying, like, you know, he didn't expect you guys to go in the cage, whatever, but do you feel like that actually plays, you know, plays into your favor now that the fans have seen you guys in the cage, now that they want that fight even more? Because Armin's great. He's a great fighter, but it doesn't do it, you know, it doesn't do it for
no one, because he's a little bellend. No one likes Armin. You know what I mean? He's a little posh boy. Had everything given to him on a plate his whole life, so expects it in the UFC. Yeah. Like, when he got put up, Gagey got put up and I got put up, and the biggest fan reaction was when I got put up. Yeah. That's probably why Joe Rogan mentioned me again to Topuria, and he said get him in the cage. Yeah. Like, I understand what Dana said. You know, that shouldn't have happened. His wife and son was in the cage. I know, but I'm never gonna hit someone in the cage like that. I'm never gonna steal on someone. I've got more about me than that. You know what I mean? I'd never want to steal it on someone. I wouldn't have even pushed him the way he pushed me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that, especially after he's just won a fight. You know, even though he didn't take much damage, I'm not going to hit someone with no glove on and steal it on them and fucking potentially cause them brain damage. As much as I hate him, I hate him, I'd still want to do it under respectful circumstances.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But it made me laugh what Topuria said when he got asked about it.
Yeah.
See that?
No, I didn't see.
He got asked about it and he said, oh, I heard Dana not happy and stuff like that. And yeah, Dana said if I was there it wouldn't have happened, and Topuria just went, but Dana wasn't there, was he? That's awesome. I started laughing. He was videoing me watching it last night. Started laughing and was like, I like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Where like, can we go back to where this like started? Like where the feud started? Because I think everybody saw like the whole sanitizer bottle thing and all that stuff.
That was in Anaheim, right?
Yeah. Where did
No,
it?
it was in London now.
Oh, was it was? I was there.
Yeah, the bottle. That was in London now.
Yeah, but how did the heat start? Like where did this
When
start?
I first signed with the UFC, his friend, who's now being cut from the UFC because he's shite, Guram Kukhtaladze, however you say his name, he just tweeted something at me, lad, and I just said back, he said like, how welcome to the UFC. And I went, lad, who the fuck are you talking to, you fake Russian? No, because he had a baldy head and the beard. And everyone went off on me. I was like, oh, what's going on here? They don't like being compared to Russians. And obviously I fed on that. Like, one of them said something and I just said...
just needle a little more, needle a little
I just said, shut up, you fucking... no wonder the Russians terrorise us, something like that. And then, lad, I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and my phone had blew up. And I mean, blew up. I had that Bell Beta Bird who Molly beat. I had Guram, I had Ilia, all just commenting shit to me. And I was like, what's going on here? And it still annoys me to this day, because he even went on Rogan and said it to Topuria. He said, you know, Paddy say it's good that Russia drop bombs on Georgia and kill children. It's like, I never said that.
Never said that.
I'd never said anything like that. I'd never celebrate people getting killed, especially kids. And I don't know, it must be a language barrier where I've said terrorise, which by ours, that's just like you've been bullied.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Terrorise is just a word we use every day. I don't know if where the language barrier is, you think that means war. But like, if it is, go and learn proper English, Ilia, because it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know Spanish is your first language, lad, but go and learn proper English. Because I just, as I say, it was just an off-the-cuff comment. After it though, I did say, I was like, listen, if anyone's interpreted that the wrong way, I'm sorry, but it never meant that. You know what I mean? And I can remember speaking to Gige Chikadze about it. Like, had a full conversation with him. And that was after Ilia had tried to steal it on me, tried to jump me. And I'll be honest, that was in Anaheim, I think. He come over to me when I went to the toilet, just me and him on our own, and I was thinking, this could go off here.
Yeah.
If he's anything like Ilia, this could go off.
This was in Anaheim?
Yeah.
At what fight?
You were there? Was it Atlanta? Where was it that time we went to? When Chandler knocked? No, that was San Diego. It was when Chandler knocked Tony Ferguson out. Phoenix, sorry.
Oh,
it was in
okay,
Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah.
He came over to me and he just spoke to me. You know what I mean? Like, we spoke about it and he was like, oh, I was involved in the war. My dad put a machine gun on me back. And I was like, lad, what I said had nothing to do with any war. Like,
Right.
people might interpret it wrong, but lad, it's nothing to do with that. And he shook me hand and all that, and I was like, oh, I understand. And like, he come over to me and spoke to me about it like a man.
Yeah.
And understood where I was coming from, and I understood where he was coming from. And that's how Ilia probably should have done it. But at the time, Ilia was a nobody, and I was a somebody. So he wanted to become a somebody off my name. I still say to this day, he wouldn't have got a title shot that fast if it wasn't for me and him having beef.
Yeah.
Because no one knew who he was. You know what I mean? He's just a McGregor clone.
Dang, I didn't know all that backstory. I had no idea. I just remembered you guys crossing paths in London and
No, yeah, that, like, as I say, that was him trying to be a bully on his part, because I was on my own.
Yeah.
I was stood there warming eggs up in a microwave, and he comes out of a double set of doors with about 10 people. You know what I mean? I'm like, see what happens here. Like, it was funny as well, because one of my coaches, Ellis, and him, and like my cameraman and that were like, wait there, lad, we'll come down. I was like, lad, I'm only going to warm my eggs up, I'll be 5 minutes. And it's probably a good job that they weren't there, though, because Ellis would have knocked about 3 Georgians out. You know what I mean? Like, Ellis would have seen red and just started laying people out. So it's probably better that that never happened, because it would have caused much more commotion than it did. Yeah. But he just come over and like, I went, what's happening, lad? And like smiled at him. And he I think he might have went to, I can't even remember now, was it a left hook he went to throw or a right hand? He went to throw something at me. So I just stepped back and there was a bottle of hand sanitizer there, so I just picked it up and launched it off his head. You know what I mean? And as you say, the rest is history, lad. He started to throw another punch, I think, and I pushed the table at him. And it's funny because his little manager come round to run around the tables, and I turned and looked at him and went like that. He went like that. And he, what's it called? Like, we just started shouting back and forth at each other. And it's funny, someone's asking me about this the other day. I've got the bottle of hand sanitizer in the gym.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have a sign or something?
I've written on it, Mr. Hand Sanitizer, and signed it. And if we do fight,
I was just gonna say, you know how he does the roses? You gotta lay down the bottle of hand sanitizer in the middle of the
press
octagon.
conference, lad, defo. But then obviously we both fought again, like 6 months later, when I had my very close fight with Jared Gordon, and he beat Bryce Mitchell. At the press conference, it was like we were fighting each other. You know what I mean? We were going at each other. Yeah. And then we never fought on the same card since then. I don't think we haven't fought on the same card. I think the UFC wants to keep us apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fight we got to make now, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got steam.
It's funny when I seen him in London, like, he was on the stage with Hunter, and it was funny because I thought, this could get a bit tastier. In the back, the security, the security's like, the UFC come over to me, because they were definitely like that with Strickland and DDP after what happened. They come over to me and stood round me and was like, he's coming through here, and I was like, Sam. And as he walked through with Hunter, and I was just looking at him, and he looked at me and smiled and went like that. So I just done it back. I went like that back, laughing, and we were just laughing about it. And then when I got to the front, and he was stood there, like I was walking out with my teammate, I didn't want to take the shine off my teammate by fucking arguing with him, and he was stood next to Hunter, so I just went like that, you know what I mean, and touched him down. And like the amount of shit I seen online after it was like, you have just ruined 2 years of build-up.
Like breaking cases.
And like, it was all fake and all shit like that. I was like, why? Because I didn't want to cause commotion on stage. You know what I mean? Some people are just mad.
Like, how do you break down a fighter like that? Because he's obviously a really good fighter, but like you said, kicking the legs, maybe using like distance. What are some of the things you can take advantage of against him?
He's a very good all-round fighter, lad. That's one thing what I always say. Like, I respect him as a fighter, and he doesn't respect me. So I genuinely think if he fought me, he wouldn't train as hard. He just thinks he'd beat me. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd put as much hard work and dedication into his fight camp as he does in his last 3. Like, he's on a legendary run, lad. He's knocked fucking Volk, Holloway and Oliveira out 3 fights on the bounce, lad. That's an unbelievable last 3 fights. I still think he wouldn't have knocked Volk out if Volk didn't take the fight too quick, like, after getting a head kick by Islam.
Yeah.
But it's fate, innit? What happens, like. But yeah, I would kick him everywhere. Like I am Steven Gerrard in 2005 in the Champions League.